people, welcome back to another Fwoosh review. Tonight I'm going to be taking a look at the Medicom toy MAFEX C-3PO and R2-D2. Now I've been waiting for these for a long time. They got pushed back a little bit. It wasn't more than a month. And even though I have the model kit C-3PO and the model kit R2-D2 in my 6-inch display, I'm looking for something a little bit more weathered, something a little bit more in line with the rest of my figures. Now don't get me wrong, I can weather. I could have done this to my model kit droids, but I thought, why? If these are coming, and if these are good, I can leave my model kits as, you know, the ceremony at the end of Star Wars. Nice, shiny, clean. And then use these as my dirty droids. Plus, the other reason I was excited for this is we have the MAFEX Boba Fett's coming, both Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. We have Captain Phasma, we have the C-3PO and BB-8 pack of Kylo Ren. So all those figures coming, they may replace the versions I have on the shelf now. And at the moment, I only have Darth Vader from MAFEX. That's the only MAFEX figure I have. So this will give me a little bit more of an idea if I should be as excited as I am for the upcoming MAFEX figures. The packaging, just a box, window on the front. It shows everything nice in the package. I don't know if there's anything hidden behind this graphic right here. You can see R2, you can see C-3PO. They don't look quite as weathered as the promo shots, but again, I'm looking through plastic. They're not in my hand yet. On the side, got a pretty picture. On the back, same thing, pretty picture. And then showing all the accessories on it. And then some stuff I can't read. It probably says something like, these droids came with their memories pre-wiped. So, have a ball. And then, nothing on the side, just a picture again. I'm going to get this open because I'm excited to see how these scale up with the rest of my figures. Okay, one negative right off the bat. The right forearm was split in the package. Maybe I didn't see it in the package like that, but when I opened it and pulled the cover tray off of it, this was split in half and the hand was just hanging down in the package. This is attached here. It's kind of fragile. I'm gonna leave that in there though, but that pin goes in there and then this piece just goes on top of it. Gotta make sure the pistons are inside of it, and I'm gonna try to glue this down, I guess. Try not to get those pistons glued together, because that would suck. And there you go, further out of the package. I had to fix that arm. It just took a couple of dabs of glue to stick it back together, and it's back to factory now. Well, actually better than factory. We'll get to that here in a minute. But standing here, they look fantastic. I love the finish on these guys. The sculpts are pretty good. I feel like C-3PO's torso with the wires in between the plates is a little bit long. I can overlook that for the fantastic finish on the rest of the body. The tarnished look, it's not the shiny gold of the model kit, but it looks great. It looks like the finish has chipped away down in the crevices or there's sand stuck up in there. I really, really like the look of this. And again, we'll get to that in a minute. R2-D2, he's weathered. All the panels are lined. There's some dirt and grime in places. Not as much as we saw in the box, but it still looks fantastic. And best of all, the blue is darker than what we saw in the promo shots. It looks better in person. It's a darker blue. In fact, it's kind of a metallic blue. Now, just because I'm a sucker for punishment, we're going to take R2 out of here and start with C-3PO. This figure is a little bit infuriating. Like I said, I love the look of it. It'll probably go on the shelf after we do some comparisons here. But I don't know if this was intended to be an action feature, but all the joints come off. Or, well, the limbs come off. The right one is a little bit harder to pull off, but there's not really a mushroom to the peg here. The left one, though, it just comes off. Anytime you try to do something to move it around, it's just floppy. And you can see that it's this ball up inside the upper leg. It's just loose. But once you get this leg on, it doesn't really want to stay. There it is. Okay, I got it in there. You can see that anytime you try to move this joint, it gets loose, and just, that's not good. I also had that problem with the left arm, but I split it apart, glued it back together where it was tighter, and now it's staying on. But these come off there too. And then the head is the same way. I want to think that this was an action feature, that you can split it all apart. Are they going to give us a Chewbacca later to carry around a pieced out C-3PO? You can also pull his torso apart. It's just a ball going into a socket. And it almost makes me think this comes out too, but I haven't been able to pull this out. Well, there you go. There may be a way to shorten this, but I'm not sure. Now, as you can see, it does have that figure arts thing of the shifting hip down, but it doesn't really work if the leg doesn't want to stay on. When you pull it down, you have to shift it down and then put the leg on it, which, because of this long plate right here, it doesn't really want to go. And because of how loose that is, it's just hard to get back on there. Get on there. You can almost get sitting position, but that's as far as you can go. Going over the articulation, the neck, not really a lot. You have this. and you have to the right, but no left. That's about the range of movement in the head. The arms do have a ball up there, and it's covered with this shoulder sheath. You can get out like that, which not bad for a C-3PO, really. And then you can turn it, swivels all the way around. I was grabbing the arm and pulling, but if you grab that shoulder piece and turn it, it's a little bit easier to turn. I'm trying to hold the leg on at the same time, but it's... ugh. The elbow is a hinge, and these pistons move with it. That slides down little tracks right there. So you can bend it. It's not bad for what it is, you know what I mean? The wrists are on a ball. You can swivel. You have a little bit of hinge, and you can adjust that to where you want it to go. Either hinge it up and down or side to side. The torso has a ball up and down, but... well, actually, that is not bad at all. Pulling it apart actually freed it up a little bit because it wasn't moving like this earlier, and it never breaks. That actually looks pretty good. Like I said, the hips have a drop down on them. You get forward if you turn the leg. You get back. You get out. You got a hinge at the knee. Goes about right there. And it goes about right there. Why it goes forward more than it goes back, I don't know, but... that's just the way it's designed. The ankle is on a hinge. You can go down that far. You can go forward that far. And there's a forward-facing peg for rocker. For accessories, C-3PO comes with an extra hand to hold the communicator, the comlink thing. It's very small. It does look pretty good. I will probably never use it. For R2-D2, solid figure. I do like this. Like I said, it looks good. It also moves good. You have a rotating head. There's no clicks. There's no sound to it. It just slides around. You have a swivel at the top right here. You get forward and back. You have a hinge down at the feet. Gets about that far. There are wheels on bottom. That's kind of cool. You get some rolling action out of it. Now, for the third leg, I really like this too. You just push, it clicks, and then it pops out. You pull it the rest of the way out. And again, it looks good. Three-wheel action rolling along. And there's also wheels on that third leg. To put it back in, you just flatten it out, push it, click it back in. I dig that. For accessories, R2 comes with a little hologram Princess Leia. It's a little gummy looking, but what do you expect? It's a little translucent blue piece of plastic. And you can tell there's a face there and the hair buns up under the hood. It's not bad at all. And then he comes with this drink tray accessory and his arm that actually serves drinks. Now this thing's pretty cool. The glasses sitting up on the tray, each one has a little detail to it. To install this, you have to pull R2's head off. And there's 4 pins and 3 pins up in the head. I don't know why they didn't add a 4th pin to get it back on. If you don't get the pins lined up, it's just loose. Also interesting, up inside when you pull the head off, this is clear, this light port right there, and this is clear back here. The one on the model kits and other figures are different colors. Maybe you could install a light up in here or something. It does let light shine through. Now you take this, you pop that out, the centerpiece, and you put his head back on. The drink tray clips right to his legs. It's just kind of a friction thing. It is secure, but it's not just clamped down on it. Then you take the drink thing and plug it in. It rotates around to each drink. And the piece you pulled out, it's also here where it looks like it flipped up and this arm came out. I really, really, really like this. Now for comparison, here is the MAFEX C-3PO with the model kit C-3PO. As you can see, the model kit, nice, shiny, gold, but C-3PO wasn't like that a lot in the movie. The MAFEX finish looks more realistic, more like what we think of whenever we think of C-3PO. And then of course the size difference. The model kit, way shorter. You could kind of fudge the model kit into your display because at the time, that's all we had. Putting him next to the SH Figure Arts Jedi Luke, the MAFEX is a little bit bigger. But if you look at this picture right here, you can kind of see that C-3PO is kind of taller. I don't know if it's because of the suit, the camera angle here, but there is precedent for C-3PO to be slightly taller. But if you're more of a Black Series person, the Farm Boy Luke from that series, again, a little bit shorter than the C-3PO. In a display, if you put C-3PO in the background a little bit, it may work. Because really, if you take a human this size and put him in a metal suit, it would probably end up looking like this, because it'd have to be bigger to go around the body. And then here's the MAFEX R2-D2 with the model kit R2-D2. You can see the difference in the finishes. They are nearly the same size. The MAFEX has maybe slightly, just barely a little height on it, and a little width. But as I did in the model kit video, I did comparisons. R2 comes up to about the belt, comes up to about C-3PO's mid-torso. The model kit is just about the right size, and the MAFEX being just slightly taller than that, it'll definitely fit into your 6-inch collection. The Black Series R2 is way too tiny, and it looks odd. It's got the smaller eye port. The detail isn't as good as the other two figures. When it came out, we were excited, but since then, with both the MAFEX and the model kit, you have better options. So at the end of the day, it's a tough call here. I'm trying to separate myself from usefulness and pretty on the shelf. Yes, the C-3PO is a shitty figure, but I can't help thinking that it'll still go on the shelf because it looks fantastic. Like I said, I don't know if it was supposed to fall apart. If it wasn't, they should have mushroomed the pegs. They should have made it more secure for the limbs to go on and stay on. I'm tempted to just glue the pegs in because I'm not really ever going to have him in a sitting position. He's not going to be running. C-3PO can barely walk in the movie. So, not a great action figure, but fantastic looking, except for one thing, and that's the dead eyes. And that's really not anything that toy companies can do, short of putting lights behind the face. You're not going to get that lit up look like in the movie. It looks like he's deactivated. He looks like C-3PO. I'm medicated. But the R2-D2 is fantastic. It's so much better than the Black Series. And if you like the model kit, you'll like this. Like I said way at the beginning, these will be my dirty droids on the shelf with the Tatooine people, the other characters. And if we ever get a ceremony Luke, or you want to set up a display like that, you can keep the model kits clean, shiny, white, bright, and golden. You know what I mean? So I probably didn't help anybody make a decision on these. Look at it, it falls apart. It's kind of frustrating, but damn if it doesn't look great. And then R2-D2. I almost wish these came separate so I could tell you, pass on the C-3PO, grab the R2. But they don't, they come together. We're out of luck. So, if you like the review or this bout with indecision, comment, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the Fwoosh. I was putting his helmet back on, and I broke the peg. I guess I was off the hole a little bit, and most of the peg broke off. But everything I talked about not liking the helmet in the first place, it was fixed by breaking the peg. There is a little bit of peg left. It pretty much snapped in half. And I think it was the length of the peg that was holding it up where I didn't like it. Another side effect of that, where it broke, it kind of made the peg slightly larger. So it's tighter and it stays in place better.